So this actually I wanted to discuss in the previous lecture as well. That's why somebody asked me about the sum range, and I said that yeah, we will discuss it because of one row we couldn't provide a condition and then check these value. So this is SUMIF, and basically what we are trying to do is we are trying to sum certain values on top of a if condition. Okay, so what is happening here is basically I'm asking a question from this data. So we have a data in which there's an order date, region, sales representative, what items they have sold, and how many units they have sold, what is the cost of that unit, and what revenue they have generated basically. Okay, so now find the total units that were sold in East region. If I want to find out, then I have calculated it with the SUMIF function. Okay, the formula SUMIF allows me to select first. So if you just click on the SUMIF formula, it will ask you to give a range. So first you'll give a range on which you have to apply a criteria or condition. Okay, so I have given a range from B2 to B44. There are 44 rows in the data. Okay, so B2 to B44. Okay, and then I have put a condition East. Okay, I want Excel to filter out first. Okay, the if condition is filter out first those rows having the values East in the region B2 to B44. Okay, and then apply sum on top of E2 to E44. So what it will do is first it will filter out those rows which are having region in East, and then it will take the sum of all the units and then it will apply and give me the final value. Okay, if you want, you can verify it by putting a filter and going to East and then taking the sum of units. So it is giving you 691. Our answer was 690. Okay. Any doubts on this one?
Can you please explain this? Actually, I got lost with my connection.
Okay, no worries. So what is happening here is, so it's a SUMIF function that we're using. Okay, there's SUMIF, as the name describes, it's a combination of if and sum. So whenever you'll apply this formula, first, although the name suggests SUMIF, but first Excel will try to give you or ask you a range and criteria for if. Okay, so if within B2 to B44, I mean within the region, if the condition is East, so if we are trying to find out East in region column, okay, and then we are trying to take the number of sum of units, okay, for East region. So what we'll do is within B2 to B44, we'll apply a condition, criteria, condition, whatever you want is East, and then we are taking the sum of E2 to E44. That is actually sum range, and basically it is applied on a certain criteria. So a combination of sum if, what it will do is it will give you an option to apply a condition first. So if condition will be applied first, and then take the sum on the other range and then click on enter and you'll get the number 691. If you want to verify it, just click on East and then you will find the number and take the sum of units or units column. What it will give is 691, as we were getting from our formula as well, 691. Cool.
Thank you.
No worries. Okay, so now if you want to find out what was the total revenue generated from binder, okay, so you can do that as well. So what is happening here is now we want to see where is binder basically. So in the D column we have item. Okay, now let's see the formula from D2 to D44. Again the same thing, instead of East from B2 to B44 we are doing binder from D2 to D44 and taking the sum of G2 to G44. Now we are not taking the count of units, we are calculating revenue. So it will give me the total revenue generated by binder basically. Okay, when you click on enter, it will give you values. Same thing, you can do it using a pivot table. So as we discussed pivot table in the last lecture, so that's why I'm taking use of that and trying to showcase that a pivot table can also be used. Instead of writing all the formula, you can just use a drag and drop function. So if we go ahead and show field list, so what is happening here is our first question was find the total units that were sold in each region. So you drag and drop region in the rows column, and you drag and drop sum of units in the values column, and then it will give you central, east, west. And if you want just east, you have the option to select a filter right from here and just select east, and it will give you the option and give you the values sum of units east. If you want to see all the others, just select all, and you will see the number of units for all the regions. Okay, same goes for this as well. So right now, instead of region, we are giving it item for rows, and instead of sum of units in the values, we are giving sum of a total revenue in this basically. So right, you can see it's not written as revenue. I've written it as total sum of total revenue. I should have written, but yeah, you can change the name right from here as well. So the only option that you'll get in pivot table is to change the column name. That's all. You cannot change the value. So that's why. So even if you want to change anything, we can't change this part of the pivot table. So it will indicate you. But it's always a good practice to change the first row. It will always come as a row label. So instead of that, you can just put items so that it is very clear to the client if you want to showcase something to them. Okay. So like that you can do. Again, same goes for the previous pivot. You can just put region, and that's all. Okay, so a little bit of flavor of pivot table and how we try to answer the question using formula, things like that. Okay, now, and sorry, any doubt on this one? Cool. So now if you go to SUMIFS, basically SUMIFS, as the name suggests, it will give you the option of applying multiple criteria. Okay. And basically it will allow you to do a sum on a particular column, and it will allow you to put up multiple criteria. So what is happening here is what is the total revenue generated from a central region where item is a pencil? So there are two conditions on top of it, basically. And what we are trying to do is we are trying to find out the revenue generated by a central region, generated within the central region for pencil. Okay. So it's a stationary data, data for stationary company. And they want to see for how much pencil is generating revenue for their central region. So understand what is happening here is, so basically what we are trying to do is we are following the formula. Okay, so SUMIFS, it will give you the option to give the option sum range. Okay, and then criteria range. Okay, then again criteria 1, then criteria range 2, and criteria range and criteria 2, and things like that. Okay, so what we have done here is basically we have selected G2 to G44. Okay, so now in SUMIFS, it will ask you to give the sum criteria. Okay, because there's only one sum range that you can put. Okay, and mind it is ifs, it's not if. Okay, so first what we want to calculate, you give that option to your Excel. Okay, so we have this G2 to G44. Now it will apply sum on the first criteria, that sum range. Okay, it will apply on that row from G2 to G44. Fine, cool. Now it has taken the sum of entire thing. Now what it will do is it will check all the if conditions. So now my first is B2 to B44 and central region. So from a region column, B2 to B44 and central I'm selecting, and then from D2 to D44 pencil I'm selecting. So both the conditions are satisfying. Okay, and when you close the parenthesis and enter, you will see that it has generated a revenue of this particular column G. If you want to again verify, click on filter, or you can verify using a pivot table as well. So as you can see, for central region, and the filter that has been selected is pencil here. Okay, you can see that 1540.32 dollars or whatever revenue has been generated, and that's what my formula is also giving. Okay, any doubts on this one?
So basically the sum range is coming in the front and all the other conditions are following as.
Yes. Now you can put multiple conditions. If you want to add some more conditions, you can do that as well.
Okay. And there is any benefit that if we switch the conditions, like the
Switch the
pencil to
condition.
the first, pencil to the second, and then central to the third,
No, it will
the
give you the
formula?
same number. It doesn't matter. It will give you the same number. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
If you want, you can try it, but we'll give you the same number according to me.
Okay.
Okay.
In terms of optimization, something like that.
No, it's not. It's not. So in terms of optimization, Excel is. I mean, it's very. It's better to use the conditions from the left hand side first. So if you have, so so it's very much understandable that your item does not belong. So your item belongs to a region. Your region does not belong to an item. Okay. So cardinality wise, your region is basically parent, and your item is basically your child. Okay, but hierarchy wise, sorry, but you can apply condition second first as well, and first second as well. That's not a problem for Excel, but it's a good practice to apply the condition in which, like, hierarchy wise it is greater than that. So it's a good practice, that's all.
Okay. Got it. Yeah.
Okay. Now the second question that we have asked is how many units that were sold by Representative Jones and where the cost of item was greater than 4. Okay, so cost of each item should be greater than 4. That's the condition. Okay, and for that we will see what all things we have to do. So minded, we have asked the cost should be greater than 4. That means, like, for, we will see unit cost. Okay, again, formula wise it will be the same. We have applied formula on E2 to E44. So now we are just selecting unit cost, units, sorry, number of units sold. So my sum range is E2 to E44, and the criteria is C2 to C44 criteria range, and the criteria is Jones because we want to see how Jones is performing, and all those items which are having the unit cost greater than 5. So this is the condition for unit cost column F2 to F44 and greater than 5. I haven't put a pivot table on this one. You can verify if you want. It will be the same. Again, if you want how many units did Jones sell excluding pencil item, then there's a condition of not equal to. Again, the same thing. I mean, units wise and condition wise within C2 to C44 Jones, and in D2 to D44 basically where the item names are there. If you put on not equal to, this is the symbol of not equal to. So there's a less than and greater than sign. Put it together and then put your item name, and it will give you all the values of all the items except pencil. Okay. Any doubt on this one specifically or any other thing? Cool. Uh, and on this one, like, if you want to generate total revenue for units greater than 50, then you can do that as well for each and every uh, sales representative. So you can do that by just select uh, again the SUMIFS. Okay, and you have just given a sum range and then a criteria range, and then there's a criteria J22. So what is J22? Let's see. So basically J22 is this one, Jones. So you have written the name of those sales reps, and what it will do is it will find out within C2 to C44. It kind of works like VLOOKUP. So it tries to match that key. Okay. So in J22, the name is Jones. Okay. And it will try to find out what is happening with Jones within the criteria C2 to C44. And then if it will check E2 to E44. So E column is units. And whenever it has generated more than 50 units, I mean, sold more than 50 units, okay, then it will calculate, go to the first criteria, which is the G2 to G44, which is calculating our sum of revenue. That's it. That is what is happening for others as well. So for this one, suppose for Kivel, it is just, I'll just zoom it a bit. So Kivel, it is basically J23. It is comparing your C2 to C44 sales reps column with this name. And again, goes for this one, same goes for others as well. And it's generating, calculating the revenue, totals revenue, sum of revenue on top of the condition that it is for a particular name, sales representatives, and a particular condition that the unit number of units that they have sold is greater than at least 50. Okay. So any doubt on this one? Okay, so moving on to COUNTIF, it is exactly the same. So I haven't put a lot of questions, just a couple of questions on this one. Important to understand what is difference between count and sum. So count is basically counting the frequency of those numbers, not taking the sum of those numbers. So basically, even if it is like the sum you're getting is 197, it should show the count 44. So basically it is doing that. Now the question basically what we have is, find the total number of times Gil has made a sale. Okay, so Gil is one of the sales representative. Okay, so we'll put a criteria for Gil. Okay, C2 to C44, and we don't have to do anything. Wherever the Gil's name will come, okay, it will take the count of that. Okay, and total number of times the Gil, the person named Gil has made any sale, that count will come up here. So 5 times. Okay, now again, which sales representative have made a sale more than 3 times? Okay, now for that we can put up a flag because there are not multiple conditions here, just one condition we can put. So if and we have put a flags column, so this is a new generated column. You wouldn't have seen it here, so revenue was the last column, but in COUNTIF I've generated one other column which is called flags. In it I'm just giving a binary condition. Okay, so COUNTIF from C1 to C44. Okay, it should be C2 to C44, but yeah, it's fine. Wherever C2 is greater than 3. So basically in that condition, wherever C2 is greater than 3, that condition should be true. So that, so like that. So in that can generates a flag. So if it is less than 3, it won't give you a number which is which has a count greater than 3 basically. So it is basically coming from top to bottom, and now if you try to find out the total count of true, so basically we are interested in those sales person who have made a sale more than 3 times. So we'll just take the count of true within this column I2 to I44. So basically, if you want to see the count if function working for those sales reps which have made more than sales more than 3 times, then what it will do is it will calculate the sum of the true flags in the flag column, and it will give you the number. That's all. Okay, any doubt on this one?
And what if we want to know the names where flag value is equal to true?
If you want to know the names, then basically you can write a condition. If I2 is equal to true, okay, then just name of that person should be C2. If not, then write no name. Okay, and it will come up like this. So it is an if condition. So basically simple if. So if I2 is true, okay, it is selecting, then it is going to Jones. And if it is false, then you can see no name, things like that. If you want to take account of it, same formula you can apply. Instead of I to I44 to J to J44, instead of you can true instead of true, you can just write the formula instead of explaining it. Okay. Now if you want to take count of, basically if you want to replicate everything, J2 to J44, and then if you want to put up a criteria which is not equal to no name, you can do that. Sorry. That's all. So it is just what it is doing is it will give you the same thing, COUNTIF J2 to J44. And it wherever you're selecting not equal to no name, then it is selecting all the names which has true value. So basically, again, true is showing your name, and again, your wherever no name is not there, that means the other names are there. You're taking the count of that, so you can use this. So basically, count wise, it is the same. If your question was how to find out the name, so if you have set up a flag and it is true, then obviously you can write a name directly from C2 directly. And if you don't want to put up a name for false flag, so just put no name. That's all. But understand that this is basically coming from C2, which is directly coming from this column. But no name is a string that I've written. So within the quotes, it is a string. That is if and then else condition, and that is end. That's all. So if I2 is equal to true, so if this particular cell number is having a value called 2, then it will be replicated with this particular value, which is there in C2. So that's why the sales representative name Jones comes here. If it is false, then no name, it will come up here. Okay. Understood?
Basically, we are like typecasting Jones and true manually, but can we just pass the complete column, like the sales representative?
Complete column as in, okay, instead of true, false, you want to put name and this, right?
Yes.
Okay. So it is not possible within COUNTIF. Okay. You can write simply if COUNTIF is equal to true, then you can write C2 as no name. Okay. So within, I mean, just by COUNTIF you can't, just can put another if condition on top of it, and then you can do that. It's again this again typecasting only basically, but it is following the condition within COUNTIF, and it is obviously taking directly values from there instead of giving a flag. That's all. So that you can do, but whatever I did with two different columns, obviously you can combine the formula and do that. So that's the option.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so for now, I'll just keep it simple. What else? Do you want to see this formula? Do you want to keep this formula as combined? Should I create another row so that you know how to use if and COUNTIF all together? Do you want that? Or should I just keep it simple for you? I mean, it's up to you. Anyone? Or any problem understanding what is happening with that formula which was containing if and COUNTIF all together? Okay. So I've just kept it like this as of now. So you can combine this together as well and see for yourself that how it's working. Okay. Yeah. So COUNTIF is over. Count if we go to COUNTIFS. So with multiple ifs condition again, if we want to see as SUMIF, it will showcase the same thing. Here what we are seeing here is criteria range, then criteria range 2, and then criteria basically. Here there's no requirement of sum range, which was happening in sum range. So basically it will take the count of each and every criteria. So there is no sum range concept or count range concept, because it will take the frequency of that particular condition. Okay. So what is happening here is just the question is how many orders were placed from the East region after 10th Feb 2019. Okay. So what is happening is it is taking the first criteria as A2 to A44, and it is putting up a greater than sign, okay, in the search criteria, and then putting up the date after 10th Feb. So it's an American date time. So second second is the February month, and then 10th, then 2019. And within the East region, so it was selecting B2 to B44, just counting the frequency. So what it will do is it will take the count of those values. If you want, you can verify it as well. Okay, go to date column and just go ahead and select everything which is greater than 2019 February. So Feb, March, April. Instead of, I can select remove and remove this as well. Okay. So now we have a date greater than 10th of February. And the second condition was to select region East, I think. Yep. And you can see 10th Feb from East region. Everything from 2019 and greater than 10th Feb. And that's all. And for East region, yeah. Yeah. Giving me 12 count. I think it should be 6, but it is selecting 1st January as well. Maybe there's something wrong with the date column. We'll have to figure out the date, but yeah, it should give greater than 2nd January. There's something wrong with the date column. That's why it's not coming up. But you can use this formula if the date time format is correct. I can just try to change the state format. Again, it will give you the opportunity to learn something from the format cells. So if you go to, if you want to change the date format as well in this one, so remove the filter, and there's an order date here. What you can do is select this particular column and right click and go to format cells. Okay. And then if you go to date, you'll have the option of doing this. And if you select a particular value, say suppose I have selected English UK. Okay, that's the problem. So if we are selecting English UK, and if it is selected as this, then yeah, now it has changed to your month, date, and everything. Now, if I change it to 02/10/2019, and now if you want to see, then basically, and for B2 to B44 East region, and let's see, 2020, and then 2019, 20. Thing to applied, and then if you select, if it doesn't work, then maybe there's a slight issue with the date format. That's all. Yeah, it's not working, but it's fine. There's something wrong with the date format, or else it would have worked. So basically, condition wise and criteria wise, we are doing the same thing. We are just applying a particular date which is greater than this particular date. So once you have applied that, so it is going back to the same thing. Let's see. Let's try greater than 10th February 2019. Yeah, that's it. So the date format was wrong basically. So I've changed the format from US to UK. So 10th February 2019 greater than that. So that's why the formula wise, condition wise, it was all correct. It's just the format that was wrong. So if we are trying to find out within A2 to A44, how many rows are having date greater than 2nd February, okay, that has been selected first, and then all those are falling under East region from B2 to B44. So if you again see, the numbers were coming out to be 12, and now it has been updated to 12. So any doubt on this one? Sorry, I had to change the format. I didn't check it first. Cool. Okay, how many times did Gills sell pencils? So that's again a COUNTIF condition, two conditions. One condition is for Gill and the other condition is for pencils. So again, two conditions on and taking the frequency of those two conditions. So D2 to D44 pencil and C2 to C44 gill. So basically 2 rows, first selecting data for the first row and checking if pencil is there, and then checking for gill C2 to C44 and then finding it out. Again, hierarchy wise, it should have been gill first and pencil first, but it also answer your previous question, so it doesn't matter. So even if we change the formula, so let's just do it here and put so hierarchy wise, if you put it like this, then also you'll get 2 pencils. Okay. Any doubts on this one? Okay. Now let's just move to apart from the traditional formulas. So basically these are formulas which are very useful for identifying the sum, frequency and things like that. But apart from these traditional formulas, we have some formulas which are very useful for generating keys. Okay. So every time when you will generate, when you try to find data, you'll have some string values in your data. So suppose these East, Jones, pencil, these are string values, and it is possible that you'll have values which are very much identical to this, and you want to create a key to join different data sets. Okay, so there would be a possibility that you want to join different data sets, but you'll get duplicate values if you join it for just region. You will get duplicate values just if you join for names, okay, separately. But if you combine these 2 or 3 basically columns into one column and then use this as key, and then you have another data set which you want to use and get data from that. Basically when you're trying to do VLOOKUP, then you can use this function named concat. Okay, what concat is doing is, as the name suggests, it is concatenating two more than one columns, in this case actually rows. So it is concatenating 2 different rows. Okay, and then you can put certain special characters in between as well. So I have put hyphen. What I'm doing is formula wise, I'm concatenating B2, C2 and D2. Okay, and creating a unique key. Basically I'm calling it concatenated field. Okay, what is happening here is B2 and then I'm also putting hyphen here, and C2 then also putting hyphen here, and D2. So what it is doing, it is generating a unique identifier for me. Okay, and then I can use this unique identifier, okay, to bring on data from different data sets as well. Okay, so for now we will discuss about that in VLOOKUP as well, but for now just I understand that what is concat is doing, what concat is doing. And basically concat won't only concatenate the rows, it will also concatenate any special character if you want to put. So if you want to use instead of hyphen, if you want to use slash, you can use that. So East, Jones, hyphen, pencil. Same if you want to replicate, everything will be replicated. Okay, so it takes the value of any special character and string as well and concatenates it. Okay, so this was about concatenation. Any doubt on this one? Cool. Now moving on to date. This is very important. Basically we have a date column. Okay, and we have data until revenue. But if you want to separate out date, like if your client wants to separate out a date, you can see it in the filter as well. So as you can see, it's 2020, and then you want to filter out months. If you want to filter out date, okay, then you can do that as well. 15th January, things like that. Okay, but if you want to get it in separate columns, you have that functionality in Excel as well. just have one date, or even if you have a date timestamp column, okay, you can use that as well. And if you have a date timestamp column, you can identify time from that as well, minutes and seconds as well. But for now, we'll just keep it to year, month, week, day, and week. So what is happening here is year is taken out from this date. So 2019 will come up, and wherever 2020 is there, 2020 will come up. Okay. Month wise, it will take the month of that particular column. So as you can see, this first month, second month, third month, whatever month it will come up. You just have to type month. For day, you have to just type day. For weekday, you have to type weekday, and it will come up. And for week number, basically, it will come up as which week number of the year it is. It is there. So if you see, when you go to this particular column, 12th, 12, 29, 19. So it's basically the last week of December month. So that's why it is coming as 53. Maybe it's the one extra week which is overlapping from the previous week. So that's why it's coming as 53rd week, which is greater than 52, usual 52. Okay, so that is that. But when you go to 2020 data, okay, and when you see the first 15th January date, it is coming as the third week. So which basically means that it is identifying the week number according to the year. It's not identifying the week number on the entire column. Okay. So this was about week, weekdays, week number. There's another thing called ISO date. Okay, sorry, ISO week number. And if you want, you can use this as well. So ISO week number is basically, you might have seen ISO certified things and ISO things and ISO like that. It's basically the same thing. It's just that it starts from the first Thursday of a particular year. Okay, so that Thursday is identified as the first week, day of a particular year. So that's why if you want to restrict it to 52 days, 52 weeks, then you have to use ISO. I'll just put this as well, ISO week number. Okay, as your form in your formula, so that it restricted to 52. So you can see where your 2 has started. So first, so maybe 6th January in 2019 was something beyond Thursday, but it has identified Thursday as the first starting day of the year. So that's why it is showing us as week 1 for this particular day, but normal week number will show 2. And in this one as well, you can verify where it was week 53 for the last day, second last day, third last day of the year, 2019, 29 December 2019. You can see that it was 53 for normal week number formula, but in ISO it is 52. Same it will happen for the other years as well. In 2020 it is the same 50 to 52, but 2019 it was a unique identifier to classify between these two week numbers. So instead of normal week number, if you use ISO week number, it will restrict your count from 1 to 52. That's all, because it starts the count from the first Thursday of the first year, so the first Thursday of each year. Okay, any doubts on this one? Cool. Thank you. Now, final thing that you might require is identifying and removing the duplicates. So if you want, first we'll see how to remove a duplicate on one particular column. So let's see if we have revenue. Okay. Now, if you want to remove, then it might be different for you in Windows, but it will be definitely will be here in data. Okay. If you have this ribbon with remove duplicates like this, fine. Otherwise, there will be an icon with remove duplicates in Windows, but it will be definitely be present near text to columns and in data ribbon. Okay, so you click on remove duplicates and continue with the continue selection, and then remove duplicates. What it will do is it will remove all the duplicates from G column. So as you can see, 4 duplicate values found and removed, 41 uniques remain. Okay, click on OK, and then you'll see you have 45, 46 rows in this particular data, but basically only 40, we are getting data until 42nd row only. So first it is ignoring and then it is taking count. Then you can see 41. Okay. If for this particular column, if you want to remove the duplicates, if at all, just do the undo. And if at all, if you want to remove duplicates for entire data, just select entire data. Okay. And then go to remove duplicates. Okay. So then you will see that it is selecting everything, even the last column from the first. If you want, you can make selection from here as well. Okay. Instead of not all, if you want to select just one or two, you can do that as well. But we'll see on all the columns. Okay. So select all, click on OK. And you can see that when we were selecting revenue column only, okay, G column only, there were 4 duplicates and 41 unique values were remaining. But in case of this particular data, I mean, if you select all the rows and columns, then what it will happen is it will remove just 2 duplicate values and it will give you 43 unique values. Right?
So here we have two unique, two duplicate rows, complete
Yes,
rows.
two duplicate complete duplicate rows which are being removed. Basically, I added that. I didn't have that, but to showcase it, I added that, and now it is removed. It's the
Okay,
same
got it.
data, 44 columns, 44 rows. Sorry. Yeah.
And one
But
thing,
it
like if we are,
values in
sorry,
menu. Sorry. Yeah. Please go ahead.
yeah, if we are removing from one particular column, then in that case it will remove the duplicate value and sorting the data as well, or
No, you have to sort the data later, but it will just remove the data. Okay, and it
but
will
it will be
be.
difficult to manage after that, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can sort it out. Like, see, suppose if you remove it, continue, and then click on OK. Okay, now it has been removed. And then if you want, you can sort it from smallest to largest, but I'll just take these 2 rows as well. Smallest to largest, if you do that. Yeah, so it has sorted that out, but since it is, I mean, null value, it is not considering that. So it will always obviously get at the bottom. You can fill it or you can replace it with 0 or something like that. And then it will come up like this. So you can remove that. So it is just only for removing the duplicate values for one particular column and one particular row. If you
Okay,
want to
okay,
sort it, select the entire row and then sort it like that. Okay.
okay, okay. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so I have kept the data like that, but you can try the remove duplicates on your own. There should be an option right beside text to columns, but if it's not there, just check in the data. It should be there, but it is not necessary that it will be like showing to you like this. It's just for Mac.
Yeah, it is there actually. It is above the validation,
Okay,
just
cool.
in the window. I checked.
Great. Okay, so these are the handy things, quick, small, sweet things to help you in Excel. It will always be very helpful to identify certain things, remove certain things, take count, take concatenation, sums, and things like that. These are the formulas which we'll use in most of the cases. Apart from this, you'll use some statistical packages within Excel, and we will go to that in the